Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Celebrity Cars. Today we've got an interesting one for you. First, folks, this is a replica. This is a replica of a 1934 500K Mercedes. If this were real, it would be in the millions and millions and millions of dollars. This is not one of those because it is a replica, okay? All right. I believe this was built back in the very early 90s. It has never had a repaint. It is not perfect, although the camera right now, as Quincy, if he does a complete 360 around this, I'd appreciate it. While I babble just a moment, I've known of this car for a pretty long time. I know that this car sat in a garage in a dry environment for a very long time and driven on just an occasion. It's got a V8 motor in it. It's got power steering. At one time it had air conditioning, but the air conditioning is not working properly at the moment. All of the lights work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. They're really cool. I can't remember if the horn works or not. This is just kind of sort of plastic here. Like I said, this is a kit car, folks, for lack of better words. So yes, this is plastic, and these are tin or metal. Not really sure what they're made out of, but not a whole lot of plastic going on here. This is steel, and the rest of the car obviously is fiberglass. So just want to get that straight. Now, because it sat in the garage for a little while and had a car cover on it and had these things, every once in a while some things got to it or were dropped on it or were rubbed up against it like a bicycle or any of these kinds of things. So we're going to be finding these about the car. So right here, we've got a nice little scratch that no, your detailer can't get that out. That's the kind of libs there. And then over here on the side, we have some additional ones. A detailer will not be able to get these out. They live there. There's another scratch down here that's in there. And then we have a milder one here, but cannot be detailed out. Let's see if this, yeah. Which one? Oh, yeah. Just one more second. I'm just, we're going to go over the whole car. We're going to do it pretty quick though, folks. But we're going to go over the whole car. I just wanted to let you know that, it runs good. The brakes work great. The steering is great. A little bit of smoke comes out of the back because it probably needs a, severe tune-up. But everything in here, these latches work great, folks. But everything in here, there's a little patina to it, but it's got a GM Goodwrench 350 in it. And yeah, it's got patina to it. I just wanted to, before you spend all this time watching the video for all the details and stuff, you might want to see what's going on. But yeah, this needs a, it needs a tune-up. It needs all those kinds of things. All right. This is a different car than we normally have here at Celebrity Cars, but it is very, very unique in the fact that, if you're driving this thing down the road on the Las Vegas Strip, nobody's really going to know that this is a kit unless you're really smart. So it just looks like a 30s automobile. Okay, my point is here, I'm your living, breathing condition report here at Celebrity Cars. Welcome to Celebrity Cars. We're located just down the street from all the shiny lights on the Strip. You ever come here on vacation, come on in. You got, things like this that you can buy for, in the mid-20s to, $1 million supercars and Tupac's cars over there and all that kind of stuff. We're back to the car. But don't be afraid to stop by sometime, take pictures and videos and all. Okay, so so we have little scratches like that about the car. I'm happy to go over and show them to you. This car attracts quite a bit of dust, kind of instantaneously when you drive it down the road. But Quincy, I know you've already done, kind of sort of the walk around, but I'm going to do it one more time with you while I finish up babbling. So yeah, in the early 90s, apparently this kit came out, and the gentleman that owned it at the time, which was related to a really good friend of mine, blah, 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 he had this made. So I thought there was some paperwork laying around on how the build was done. Maybe I looked it up on the internet, I'm not really sure. but I think they used a lot of Cadillac stuff for the interior, for this bench seat, and you know, aftermarket vintage gauges. I do not know if the sound system works. So if you notice, you know, see this wood paneling here? This is, you know, this isn't real wood paneling. You can see how it's coming apart a little bit in spaces. You know, you got to re-glue it and smash it down there. The side panel over there on the bottom, it's coming apart just a little bit. But the power windows work good. This top, quite frankly, is a pain in the ass. It was easy to get it down after I found the latches, you know, because we were on our own with this. Unfortunately, the gentleman that owned this car passed away. So we had to kind of sort of figure all this out on our own. There's no eBay or, you know, going Google searching on how to undo one of these tops, I don't think. But they got latches down here that work really well. It's just kind of a pain in the butt to put it up. So we're not going to put it up today. You're super interested in this. It'll take a two-man job to get things to line up properly with these clamps and stuff to get that reattached to up here. But all of this is in really nice shape. Of course, it's got, you know, it's very shiny, but of course it's got, you know, little scratches and stuff like that in it that are, you know, kind of hard to see. But if you look around if you could come over here, Quincy. If you look around the frame of the window here, you know, this chrome is in really, really nice shape. All the chrome on this car is in really nice shape. The big bumpers have some marks and stuff like that on them, but for the most part, I mean, this is a car show car. This is so somebody to stand around and talk about. Go, wait a minute, is that real? Is that $1 million car? You know, that kind of thing. And then you get to unveil that, you know, it is not, and all those things. Anyway, so if you look down this black here, and if Quincy took about 2 steps back and you looked at this, it kind of looks brand new, doesn't it? And you get up close to it, and this has had a heavy detail tone to it, folks. This car really can't shine up any better than it does. Yeah, little stuff like that, Quincy here. That's really small. That's kind of a who cares. If you just flash, you know, every once in a while you'll see a clear coat mark, just some scratches that were a little too deep to be able to get out. So you'll just see little things laying about. And that's pretty much the whole car. The front bumper, we're going to step back here and look at this front bumper. You know, this front bumper driving down the road looks beautiful. But, you know, you get up close and you have all the patina from it being around for a long time and, you know, taken off of another vehicle, obviously, in order to make this car, this kit. So, you know, there are a couple little bumps and scratches along it, but for the most part, it's pretty darn straight. I think, you know, this side is in a little bit more than this side. If I stand here and kind of sort of do but I mean, I'm really being picky. You know, it's kind of a, you know, a barely. But it's not straight in the showroom, so it's kind of throwing me off. I might be seeing things differently, but anyway, all down here, this black paint, it's just not perfect. Quincy, just show it to him. You can see some marks still in the clear coat. Almost every inch of this car was done. It was mainly the big surfaces. But the condition of all these lights and stuff like that, and there's, you know, the little patina up here on the top of this chrome, that's just what it is. And the camera comes up here and you get a look at the hood over here on this side. You know, a couple more of these little abrasions from somebody throwing a newspaper up here or whatever they put up here, you know, just don't come out. This is a section of cracks, not, you know, not scratches from something laying on it. So you see what I'm saying. And then you get up here to the front windshield again, and you know, it's really, really nice. You can look through and see how the dash connects to the car, and it's all clean. Like, folks, it's all here. This is a very, very fun toy to screw around with, and you know, you go on eBay or not eBay, but you go on Bring a Trailer and so on and so forth, and you see how much some of these are sold for. Some of these sold for a bunch of money. Some of these are sold for a couple bucks. You know, this one's right in between here because I didn't see any black ones, and this black is pretty darn awesome. Okay, so we started talking about over here when we first started, and we talked about the paint condition over here. Let's just kind of sort of continue getting in and out of the car over here. You have, folks, you wouldn't believe the time spent on getting the wax out of the crevices of this, and I'm sure there's still some left, but I've really spent countless hours on getting the wax out of just these sections on both sides of the car. This car was loved, and it got some heavy wax on it, and sometimes just in places that it just didn't belong. So it's been a pain in the butt to get it all off. The door handle is great. A little bit of wax around it. Very, very little patina. It looks good. One of the cool factoids of this automobile, you open up this door, and you can open it up all the way to here, and it'll stay. And what else is cool is that you were to climb out of the car and you only get to about here, you let it go, and it closes for you. Perfect. Not too hard, not too soft, just perfect. Closes right back up. All right, this, folks, for the grand scheme of things, yes, there's some scratches up here, but the grand scheme of things is that this chrome is all really nice and shiny. There's a couple little things here and there. The paint all the way down the door is great. You get down here, you'll see some of these portions of the video from when I did the undercarriage video. That's coming up after this. You'll see that there's some marks down here close to the ground. But all this lines up nicely. These chrome pieces are good. That rear wheel, oh folks, the chrome wheels are all perfect. The tires are probably a little old, so you should keep that in mind. I don't know what the dates are, and I'm not digging at it right now, but okay. And then, you know, this fender. Every once in a while, I'll see a couple little marks on this fender. There's one here, there's one here. Quincy, you don't need to get up and show them any. There's a scratch right here. There's a little mark here. They're just kind of everywhere. It took me 10 minutes to clean the wax out of this. Jeez, folks, it's very funny. This says 1970 on it. So, you know, little bits and pieces were put together via a 1970 automobile for these rear reflectors. It's about the only thing on here that has any dates on it. The tail light is perfect over here. Quincy, yeah, come on up. You kind of have to press down on this little corner right here to get the gas tank up. But in here, just a little leftover wax residue, but it's nice and clean in there. And then you get up here. Quincy, come over my right shoulder if you could. And just, folks, this is kind of sort of what the trunk looks like. Quincy, I'm not going to pick apart anything. You're going to do it. So just kind of a sway all the way over. Work your way down here, and you can see, you know, the shades of the black are a little different here and there. I wiped down the crap out of this thing yesterday after the, you know, after the wax job was done, and it accumulates dust like really quick because there's just a lot of black going on here. So a little bit of it needs to be wiped down again because of the fact that, you know, Quincy's got a fancy camera there and you see everything. So, but anyway. How do I say this? Folks, the paint isn't perfect. I believe you're not paying for, look at the wax. Look at the wax and this part right here that I missed. That's the kind of stuff I've been fighting. That's not too bad. It was all shoved up and under here and stuff like that. The fact is, folks, that this is, you know, this car isn't a whole lot of money. It's to be enjoyed. It drives around real nice. It's just a couple little maintenance things that you've got to do. But other than that, I'll show you a couple more scratches, but this is pretty much what the black paint looks like. It's not perfect. It's not perfect anywhere. It's just, it's a tad period correct, if you will. It shows like that. It shows if this were a 30s car and it sat forever and ever and ever in a really nice spot, this is probably the condition you'd find it in. This sat in a little different kind of a garage, and so therefore we got little extra marks and stuff like that on it. But obviously you never let that happen to a multi-million-dollar vehicle. But everything lines up good. You know, down here, there's a little bit of crud where this goes, but it's kind of sort of a who cares. Once again, you can see how the dust just in one night, I cleaned the crap out of this, builds up in these pieces down here. But, you know, I dug in here and got all the wax out as well. And it looks fabulous. Let me show you this side of the engine as well. Again, these are very easy to lift off and lay down and put back on together. If you look up under here, you notice the wear and the old patina to the covering to make sure it doesn't screw up the paint. And then you can look in here and it says GM Goodrich on this side as well. Obviously there's some dust patina in there just like the other side. And come on up here and then you can, you know, see little sections like this have a little bit of scratches going on. That's just clear coat stuff. And this part was not detailed. You can tell the shade of the black. but the chrome all the way up. I mean, this is, you know, it's breathable. No, there's no V8 compressor in here. That would be cool. All right. Close this back up. You see how it all just really, it all works perfect. It's a one-hander. Done. It does this on both sides too. If you're new to watching old cars, it's normally a pain in the butt to do with an old car. Nothing never line up. You worry about scratching every inch of it. And then you come over here to this front fender, and you know it's not as scratched up as the other side. You can see, you know, this is the good side, if you will. And then down here, we got a little bit of a spider web. That's called a crack. It's a little crack spot there. And it just has some dust, but for the most part, this passenger side looks pretty darn good. I'm trying to find something blatantly obvious that stands. Oh, over here, I've got a little bit of a scratch there. And then over here, I have them right here. And then, once again, the wheels are just fine. And then a couple little scratches down here. All right, I'm gonna open up the passenger side door, just so you know, this one does the same thing. It stays open. And if you're just climbing out and you just let it go, yeah, that's cool. All right, inside the door jambs, okay? Got your chrome bolted on hinges here for the doors. They're all in great shape. Very little patina to them. This rubber plate down here, this is as cleaned up as I could get them. You get to look in on here on the passenger side and see the carpet. Sorry, that little leaf fell in there somewhere when I moved it outside earlier. The center console, you know, big piece of plastic, holds the shifter in there. It's got a little patina to that. The seats aren't ripped or anything, and they do have plenty of moisture in them. Hope you can see this. They're not getting ready to crack. They're not, the cushions inside are not leaving a great big residue on the ground. But, you know, there's a little bit of extra wear. You know, a little discoloration. Might be able to get cleaned up just a little bit. Here is behind the seat. So you can see the leather behind the seat, a couple little abrasions from the seat belts. The carpet's in good shape back here. It's overall in clean shape, just a little dusty. And the latch for this, here, you know what? I'm gonna leave that right there, Quincy. Stay right there if you could. And I'll show you a little bit of the top. This was the, you know, now I'm gonna spend 10 minutes trying to find this little latch again. Maybe I don't want to get into this. But there's a little itty bitty latch over here that I have to remember where the heck it is each time I go to do this. 2 more seconds I'm going to spend on this. It's hidden really well. But you know, you're able to lift this up and see the top underneath. I guess we're just going to have to add a little video to that because I can't remember where the heck that thing is. Yeah, it's really well hidden in there, and I'll have to remember where it is. But anyway, fiberglass, all fiberglass back here, and just the condition of this is in good shape. And honestly, folks, the top is in really good condition too. I need the keys for the trunk. Let me show you that while I'm here. Oh, check this out. Come on back. I only laid this on here lightly because I wanted to be able to pull it off fast, but I found this in the trunk yesterday, which covers the additional spare tire. So pretty cool. I'm going to lay this over here on the floor. And yeah, you get a full spare. You can see the age of the spare tire and stuff. So yeah, this car's definitely has some neat patina going on to it. Back here, they got a little mark in the paint back here. There's one right here as well. The rear bumper has plenty of patina to it, but you know, driving down the road, it shines. Here's, you know, the mirror format. I can wave to it. We can both wave to you in it. You can see the, you know, the background of it. So it shows very, very well. It's just, you know, not perfect. There's a little bit of hazing over here, but we can still wave to each other over here. Now let me open this trunk and show you what's going on in here. Because, you know, you're going to a car show, you need room for some stuff. There's a couple leftovers in here that were left that we felt should stay with the car. Oh, these hinges too. You have a whole tire here. And you pull this up, and the hinges hold it. And here's your trunk. You got plenty of room for 2 chairs to sit at a car show. There's a couple little weird tools in here, probably to remove some wheels or do some maintenance. Got a couple extra Mercedes front end, got an extra set of lug nuts, which I would presume for the spare. I don't know what this is, but I figured I'd leave it in the car, and the rest of this is beautiful. It's all solid. There are no weird smells back here whatsoever. I don't know what this is. Hold something. But you know, all up underneath is in really nice shape. This is all nice and clean. I mean, this is a great extra car for somebody's collection, or somebody doesn't have a gajillion dollars to you know, buy great big fancy supercars and stuff. All right, well, I'll close that back down later. Okay, so we've looked all over here. Have we finished this whole passenger side? Did we do all this? Are we good? How'd we do here? We did pretty good. Now, we're going to take this for a lap around the block. Oh, back up there. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this quick. Folks, I want you to hear this. I want you to hear the microphone that you're listening to me talk to is right underneath my chin, but if you've been paying attention to this video, your ears are clued in, and you'll be able to hear how quiet this is and how nicely it starts up. And I want you to see these lights in the front. And the reason why I like these lights so much is because there's so many of them, number one, and number two, they don't like a, you know, halogen, the new fancy light bulbs. It's all very old glow of lights, if you will. So there's the driving lights, or the front, and then all of these, and then these. Isn't that cool? This has got to be incredible to see driving down the road. You hear it starts up, it runs nice. There is no, there's your right turn signal. Here's your left turn signal. Turn signal's working. Imagine seeing this thing drive down the road. Give it a good rev. We just started it up, it's still cold. It wouldn't register on the water temperature or anything. But this is a super, super cool car. You don't even need the air conditioning. It's got air conditioning, but what do you need the air conditioning for? Okay, I'm gonna kill the lights. Folks, listen, that's important to note. I know I checked on it just once. I did an undercarriage video of this. It's coming up next. Make sure you watch it, because you'll be shocked to see the condition of underneath this. You know, you can tell it sat in the garage and remained mostly clean. I didn't wipe anything down, and you know, it's just got a little bit of dust underneath it. And this car hasn't really been driven very far. You know, it's under 1,000 miles this car's ever been driven. So keep that in mind when you're inquiring. It's, you know, folks, once again, it's a kit. It's a little bizarre. The title and all that kind of stuff is a little bizarre. So you just have to be a little patient with this one. It's in great shape and it's ready to go. But yeah, check out the undercarriage video. And we're going to drive it in just a minute. We'll be right back. Quite frankly, folks, I've been waiting all day to drive this car. The 1934 500K Replica Mercedes. This is awesome. Runs great. Nice rev of the engine there. All my gauges. It seems my gas gauge works good. My oil pressure is doing its thing. I'm revving it. Tachometer works good. I don't know about the speedometer. I don't believe it works, folks. And we haven't had this running long, so the water temperature would not show up. And the voltage seems to be plenty up there. All right, my foot's on the brake. I'm going to reach down here and put it into drive, and let's see what happens.
Speedometer doesn't work.
Speedometer does not work. This is pretty nice. It does have like a little bit of a vibration to it, but barely. It's just, this is so awesome to drive. Brakes, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the brakes might need to get adjusted a little bit. Folks, I told you this car was going to be fun. I'm going to back up a little bit, see if I left impressive marks on the road. I did. I certainly did. Yeah, folks, my, I don't know if we should redo this video or not. This is pretty funny. Folks, the brakes work great. They might need to be adjusted, aligned a little bit, bled maybe, just a little bit of service on the brakes. They're drum brakes, and those front tires had no problem in locking up when I hit the brakes. So that was pretty amusing. I will try to hit the brakes again in a couple minutes and see if we have that exact same experience. You know, I hadn't really used the brakes at all, and we got out to drive it, and they did what old school cars do. If you hit the brakes, they just lock up, and that's exactly what happened. Much to our surprise, that's what happened. All right, I'm back on the gas. We've got some really nasty speed bumps here. I'm going to go over them. Let's see how this car treats them, suspension-wise.
Oh, wow.
That's okay.
That's
Yeah,
really good.
it's very nice. And we have speed bump number 2. Going to take it at the same speed. Yeah, no weird rattles or clunks or anything to throw any warning signs up. Back on the gas, I'm pulling up to a stop sign here to pull out on the road. We got lots of traffic going on, and everybody's looking at us. This is definitely one of those cars. Now, it's getting a little late in the day, so there's lots of traffic. So we're just going to hang out here a minute. Let's see if this radio works. Hey! Unbelievable music to turn on and be on this. My foot's on the gas. We'll turn the music down, but that couldn't be more appropriate, folks. Yeah, I think I have to take this home. I'm gonna have to drive this car home one day and just experience this. Folks, you know, we have no problem with a pre-purchase inspection if you live across the country and you can't get out here that easy. To get somebody to look at this, tighten up some bolts. My foot's on the brake, my right-hand turn signal's on. Seems to work just fine. I do not need to go around fast corners and test the suspension. This is not a sports car. This is something you just cruise to your local car show and you be very careful with. And because of this really cool V8 in here from Goodwrench, it's got plenty of get up and go too. It definitely gets out of its own way. So yeah, we have a great big piece of fiberglass here, folks. I don't know what chassis it's got going on here. I do believe that the company that made these is pretty easy to look up. I'll try and do a little extra info, a little extra look up myself. But I think this is, I do not know the frame, but I'll do my best to try and find out. My left turn signal's on. Thanks for putting up with me, driver behind me. And left-hand turn back into the showroom here. This is awesome. It really is. Just needs a little bit of love, folks. I'm looking in the back. I don't see any puffs of smoke coming out of the rear. And to be honest with you, I just want to keep driving. This is really cool. You know, let's try that brake out one more time, folks, and then we'll wrap up the video down here. I've been on the brakes a couple times. I'm not going to get on it as hard as I did last time. So let's do it right about here, okay? We're doing about 35 miles an hour. I'm going to hit the brakes. Yeah, off the brakes. It stops great. It's going to scream at you a little bit. The front tires do want to lock up right away. But if you pedal a little bit, this car stops great. And this is just a delight. Oh, look down here. Look at my temperature gauge, folks.
Which one's that?
Right here. So the temperature's moved up to 180. I'm going to drive all the way down to the bottom where I locked up the tires the first time around. Do a U-turn and drive back. And we'll keep an eye. Look at those marks. Jeez. See, folks, sometimes you get to go along for quite a fun ride when it comes to the cars that we take in. And this one's definitely no exception. I couldn't wait to drive this. And this is just extremely enjoyable. But anyway, keeping an eye on that thermostat right there. Make sure it doesn't climb a whole lot higher. I have driven this before, folks, and that temperature gauge on a 110-degree day didn't go any higher than what it gets to. So we're in good shape here. Does it need a coolant flush? Probably. You know, does it need an oil change? Probably. But we're ready to go. I'm going to brakes one more time. Without a noise. Yeah, works great. Folks, I'm going to pull in 702. Look at the temperature gauge. We're in great shape. 702-818-1031. Give us a call. If you haven't found the write-up on this yet and you like to surf the internet, go to celebritycars.com and we'll have a nice little write-up on here. But give us a call. Andrew, Ryan, talk to either one of those guys, and they can answer questions for you. Look at this power steering too. Wonderful power steering as I get through this tight showroom right here. And I'll put it into reverse. Got a really mild little clunk there in the reverse like it should be. And this is just wonderful. Folks, I'm parking in a parking spot. We never do this. See you next time. 702-818-1031. Go to celebritycars.com and look up this bad boy. This is super, super cool. Thanks a lot, folks. We'll see you next time.